Goo goo, everyone. Well, let's give people the time to actually come along for the ride and catch the stream. Some people will get notified that it's not the greatest title of all, I guess, but hey, let's not bother too much. Alright, today is all about just relax. We're gonna do some painting. I'm gonna start off with painting. I like to do that when on Mondays now. I just fire up my Photoshop and just do a quick painting. I don't really bother too much. It's usually a study of a photograph or something like that. Usually don't bother too much with details and stuff like that. This is the painting that I did last Monday. It's done on a base that I created with Artbreeder. Artbreeder is a really cool program to get some creativity, to get some bases, stuff like that. And I basically made architecture and made some changes and stuff like that. So today I want to do some studying on the live stream because I made a plan. Wow, for the channel. But I'm constantly thinking about how to grow the channel, how to continue with the channel, what to do and stuff like that. But I was like, while I was thinking about it, I knew I wanted to continue with the live streams, but I wasn't really sure on what content to provide during the live streams. But I think I now know. I figured it out. Well, I'm gonna try this for a couple of months, I guess, because it's take time on YouTube. But I basically want to use the live streams as a as time to I'm gonna as time to study. I'm gonna study off camera as well, of course. But I think it's a good way to study, to connect with other people, and to study together, to give other people also a reason to study, sort of to study together, basically. 2 weeks ago, I did study faces and how to draw faces, stuff like that. Was that 2 weeks ago already, or was it longer ago? That's 3 or 4 weeks ago already. Which was a lot of fun. We had a lot of fun together. I could learn a lot from the people, from the viewers, and I think it's good to have that interaction during studying and stuff like that. It's a more relaxed environment, and I want to do the videos just to be about projects, sometimes about tips and tricks, but I don't really want to be a tutorial channel, if you know what I mean. Because I first of all, I don't feel competent enough to be a tutorial channel. So, because I'm learning myself as well. I'm a student, so to say. So I want the channel to be about the journey, first of all, and about making cool stuff. So the videos are more about showcasing that stuff, and by making the streams all about studying, we can sort of build that community, study together, and maybe we can do a live stream highlights in the future. Who knows? But I like the live streams. It's a lot of it takes a lot of energy, a lot of effort. It takes a surprising amount of energy. Usually quite exhausted after a 3-hour live stream session, but it's also a lot of fun to do. Yeah. I haven't promoted the stream just yet. Usually I post it on subreddits, or maybe interested in the live stream. To do that later, the live stream. At first I thought, you know what, I just want to up and start out easy. Problem with live streaming on YouTube, I'm rambling as well, by the way, is that the discoverability is not great. You know what I mean? People either get a notification, or if they are subscribed, they end up in your live, but YouTube doesn't really promote any live streams that you're not subscribed to. So YouTube is not really good at promoting that. So maybe I should switch to Twitch for the live stream part. May think about that. But the thing is, I kind of want to keep the community in one place. I don't want to spread it out. Because what if, let's say I'm spreading out the community over 2 platforms. You run into the risk that you have two different communities: the YouTube community, Twitch community. And what if one of the two is getting massively bigger than the other one? For instance, let's say for some known reason my YouTube channel decides to blow up all of a sudden. It's steadily growing, which is fine. For now, I'd like it to get bigger, of course, but blow up overnight, then all of a sudden big responsibilities. It can be quite scary, so I'd rather grow it a little bit slower. But let's say, for instance, that it suddenly goes through a massive growth stage, and it sort of easily overtakes Twitch, for instance. If let's say, for example, that I'm both on YouTube and Twitch, and one is getting a lot bigger than the other, then you run into the problem: which community gets your time and dedication? So I kind of want to keep the community to one platform. Yes, I post on Instagram, but that's for a sort of showcase what we've done. Not really about building a community. I mean, YouTube is all about building that community, and I don't want to split that. So, long story short, we're gonna keep streaming on YouTube, and hopefully we will grow steadily, slowly but surely. I don't really have that many plans for this piece. I'm just sort of refining stuff and adding some details and things like that. and I think I'm gonna do like an hour or so on this piece. Um, Maybe we keep this as a warm-up piece or something for when we go live, when we warm up a little bit, because I noticed that I'm sort of, if I'm painting and I'm sort of warming up and paint, I've been painting for a while, my confidence level grows, and then it suddenly is easy to stuff. When staring at a blank canvas, it can be quite scary. This may to start. It's all sorts of details. The design is there. We just have to focus on detailing and stuff like that. So we can easily use it as a sort of a warm up practice. So that's what this is about. Little painting. We're just warming up today, and then we're gonna do some more studying, design study, stuff like that. Not sure what we're gonna design yet, but I was thinking about maybe some vehicles or weapons, because I want to sort of broaden my skill set. So we're gonna do different things every week, and I think we will start every week with half an hour to an hour of painting, and the painting will switch, of course, because at some point this is going to be finished. But for now, we're going to keep this one. We're just going to slowly but surely refine it and keep working on it. What kind of brush am I using? Hello, good morning. The chat might be delayed, so it may take a while before you get an answer. I hope that doesn't bother you. So there's some sort of bridge going there. Let's that in. To mark, I think. Slider. There's a valley with some water, probably. Not sure what we're gonna do with this, but I think I'm gonna do a sort of a, yeah. Gotta make this a waterfall, or we gotta get rid of it. One of the two. If this is a bridge, it would make sense that there is a little bit of water. So we could make it go like this and a bit of that. Yeah, let's do that. What brush am I using? Just a soft brush, just a default Photoshop brush. It's fine. I don't want to overdo it. This to be extreme. Just a tiny, lovely stream of water. This is a little. Um, yeah, let's not do the water side. This has a rock. So there we go. And drawing some some water. So eventually it's going that way. Get some colors. Not perfect yet, but a lot of time to on it. And we will continue with it next week. So we're gonna work on this for another 45 minutes. Then I take a break, and then we're gonna start studying. And next week, we will say just start this off as a warm up. I think I want more vegetation. Maybe too. Rocks in, grass and stuff like that. Grass in the foreground. Not the right brush stroke there. Oh. As well. More grass. Some lighter colors. This should be quite a high contrast here. And we could turn the layer on and off to see what we have achieved and to see if we are happy with what we've done. Sort of. Need to make this a little blue. All the shadows. Lighter highlights. Get that indication. Stones. Bricks. I think it's made of stone. This little door probably as well. Some dividing the pores. Windows. Brass. Separate a little background. Grabbing big soft brush. Big opacity. Mist and darken this up a little bit. Problem is though that we right settings. Should be the right. Yeah, it is. Why is the spacing in my brush? Space. Should have selected it a bit better. Straight line there. Well, fixed it. No, I shouldn't let my coffee get cold. I always forget that I have some fresh coffee here, and then when I notice it, it's already gone cold. So that's a really sad story. It's way too dark. Some more windows in. Windows a little bit smaller. Buildings are quite far away. There. Well. Go. I feel like we need a little bit more color on the roof. More red. That is too light. Let's go a little bit saturated, darker. Very subtle. Go darker, I guess. Quite dark. Just a little bit. It's way too. Brush eyes. I haven't really figured out how this roof works. As you can see, this goes down, and then the roof sort of. Maybe it goes around the corner. That can. That is a possibility. Dark. I have a bit of a runny nose, so that's not good. Alright, I'm gonna share the stream now because we've been live for a while, and let's paint together. Oh, we'll do that later. So that's the drawing part. I'm gonna do the drawing part later. I'm gonna do the drawing part in half an hour. That's not the right color. There we go. Wait, why is my tablet is not always recognizing my pressure? See there. Really annoying. Brush strokes. Want them to be. Um, some dark there. I'm not sure what to sort of. Some rocks to this stream of water. Some, so probably should get some trees going as well, because I noticed that if I do landscapes, there's usually not a lot of trees involved. Maybe I just don't know how to paint a tree. That may be an issue. I think we're gonna merge everything and just gonna do a new layer where we're gonna do some more painting, and then we can see what we'll come up with. Because sometimes, especially during the detailing phase, you know, the design is there. It's all about getting those details in, stuff like that. You can well, I have that problem. I don't know if you can recognize that, but I always think it didn't really change that much. It's a lot of work. It's quite relaxing, but it's also quite a lot of work for not really that big of a change. If you know what I mean? So sometimes it can be good to have to do your painting on a separate layer. You should paint on this more anyway, but it's a different story. But I like to paint on a separate layer, so I can turn it on and off every now and then, so I can see, oh, I actually made some progress. Because it can be a little bit hard to spot, because it's just you're essentially painting the same stuff, but you're making it more refined. So overall, let's say the navigator, you can sort of see overall image, that doesn't change that much, if it does change at all. But you can definitely notice the details after a while. But because it's a gradual process, you don't really notice it yourself unless you turn that layer on. It was quite a long explanation for what I was trying to say, but by turning the layer on enough, you can actually see the. Because for me, it sometimes can feel quite discouraging. You're like, oh, I'm already painting for half an hour and doesn't really seem to have done that much. And then you turn that layer off, and then you're like, ooh, actually quite a big change. A lot more than I expected. Because in the early stages, in a half an hour, you can knock out a basic design and stuff like that, a basic landscape. So you can do a lot early on in a half an hour, but this phase is just takes the most time for. I wouldn't say the least amount of progress, because I feel this part is really important, and I always sort of skip out. How do I say that? I don't do this part enough. I feel like I should focus more, because that's where the first the design or image has to be interesting for this to matter, because otherwise it's just like polishing a turd, which I as well, I guess. Because I'm also still learning to design cool scenes and stuff like that. But what was I trying to say? But a lot of how your image looks is dictated by her. I'm struggling to to say what I want to say. Um, just an image needs these finishing touches, and they can take a long time to. It's not really hard. If the image is good, this is quite a relaxing phase, because you can just go what's there and just refine it. Sometimes add some details, stuff like that. If your image sucks, which is a lot of times, most of the time, I wouldn't say most of the time, but I feel like the harder it is to detail, the or I could probably let's phrase it the other way around. The easier it is to detail, the better your piece is. I think that's for me. It feels like that. Because then it's sort of already clear what is what's supposed to be happening, and then you can go off from that. If you're still figuring out design during the detail phase, I think you jumped early too, which I do all the time. Then I'm like, not really sure how this is gonna look, but I think that's super important to be clean and clear with your design, so you have an easier time detailing around. Okay. And then this is actually quite a relaxing and fun process. It's just going through the motions, and you can put up some music and just relax. I sometimes put on music while I'm designing, but lately I find that it doesn't really help me. So, but when I'm doing stuff like this, I can uh, put on some fun. Add some shadows to staircase. Find it a little stronger. But yeah, on Monday I wouldn't have thought that I would work on this during the just was it as a quick warm-up painting. I didn't make up the color scheme myself. I used Art Breeder to. Well, it was an old Art Breeder thing that I had lying around, and I always wanted to do something with it. And then one day I was like, I need to warm up something to. I loaded up this image and I started scribbling away at it, and made the architecture, changed some stuff in the landscape. Voila. Alright. So but I didn't think I would do anything with it. Well, we're doing. We're having fun. I'm having fun. I don't know about you. I'm having fun. But this is that point where I'm like, I've worked for about 10 minutes, and I'm like, I don't really see any difference to what I did. Then we can turn the layer off, and then we turn the layer on. And as you can see in the navigator, it doesn't really change anything. But it is subtle, the changes, but it does make a difference. So if you keep doing this for like 3, 4, 5 hours, you're gonna end up with a much better painting. The overall design is gonna stay the same. That doesn't change at all, probably, unless you're adding something, which sometimes can happen, but usually overall the image doesn't change. Yeah, trying to say. So yeah, when you're working, you sometimes feel like, oh, I'm not doing that much. So I'm not adding anything. But then it helps to turn that layer on and off. Like, actually did. And these things add up. And that is by far my weakest moment, I think, is to spend the time to finish pieces. I've talked about it in the past, and I will probably talk about it more and more in the future. But it's a weak point for me that I'm always thinking about the next ID that I want to do. Think, oh, I could do this better, and sometimes it is good to move on because a piece is just not that great, and you definitely can do better. But but this is also a things that I have to learn to work on this and to keep refining them. That's definitely something. But as I said before, the better the design, the easier it is to detail, and the more fun it is to detail. So it goes hand in hand. Getting better at designing, making IDs and stuff like that helps with refining the image and keep working on it. Because if I think, oh, this image really has potential, I'm willing to put up with it a lot longer. then if I was thinking now, this is never gonna work out, this is never gonna be, it's really hard to continue with it. So yeah, I think fundamentals is yeah, it's in the word, right? It's fundamental most part, because just making sure that the perspective is right and stuff like that goes a long way in keeping the motivation. Well, for me at least. It may be different for other people. It's important that I can see the potential of a piece and can see a path to get to that potential, that sort of diamond in the rough. Getting all philosophical. So some of those clouds, well, for now, all the clouds are Art Breeder's own creation, and I feel like they're actually quite decent. I want to change too much about it. I'm not sure if I want to make that a mountain, a cloud. Um, I think this is gonna be a mountain. Snow on top. Edge is a little bit. So try find it. Blue snow side. Maybe some brighter colors for. Highly reflective, so snow is bright as the sky. Some places even brighter because it's directly reflecting the sunlight in our eyes, where you get blinded by the snow. So that's a subtle change. If we turn that off and on, and all of a sudden this blob that can be a mountain, that probably is a mountain, a little bit of work, it actually really reads as a mountain now. So that's the important about the detailing. We could leave it like that, and then most people are like, oh, that's probably a mountain. But if you want to be clear, more clear with it, um, to read it, to make it read a little bit better. Yeah, especially if you're doing it for entertainment design. This is of course not a professional game, but if you're working as a concept artist, video game, or then it's nice for the people who to make this to know that that is actually a mountain instead of a cloud. So maybe we will bring up the sort of the snow on this as well. So it's end of winter, spring, probably. Snow is slowly melting away, but in the shadow there's still quite a bit. Snow in the shadow is fairly bright. And probably try to add some more snow. This should go with smaller brush. Maybe it's melting here, and the grass is starting to grow again, but it's still a little bit brown, and that brown sludge that you get when melting. Really want this to read as snow. The problem is it's probably in the shadow of that mountain, but the light is coming from that direction. So maybe the mountain will stop somewhere there, and then maybe this gets a tiny bit of sunlight, so it can be reflecting that, just to separate it from the background there. Maybe a little bit too bright. We don't want our eye to sort of stick there. But change that line. Tiny bit darker, yeah, probably. Snow. So this is hopefully leading the eye towards that little house there. Don't really have anything for us to sort of focus on in the house. We probably need some more vibrant colors there. Also not sure if I'm gonna keep this corner thingy, whatever it is, probably some sort of a tree, part of the original image, but we might get rid of it. Yeah, it's getting there. This cloud is definitely better. Yeah, and I like the snowy corner as well. Yeah, let's do 10 more minutes, and then we can start studying. I'm gonna grab myself another coffee and go the hardcore stuff. Well, not really hardcore. Let's just relax today. It's a nice rainy day. It's autumn here. It's winter. It's cold outside. So I'm gonna grab a warm coffee and sit under our blanket because I'm working from the attic. It can be quite cold here, so I have a nice cozy blanket. All fine. Let's add some rock there. Grass doesn't really float in here. Okay. Some maybe snow there. Hopefully it will read as snow. Some still. Not sure what's to deal with that little ladder. It's the way to get up there, but big fan of it. Don't really know how they're gonna go up there. Maybe I just need to make the ladder. So there's probably some snow there as well, so it's not that dark. Go. Especially in valley. Say. Add some snow. Maybe there's a little street. Can we do that? From the snow, that is. So I don't know what this is. Holy site or some graves or. I haven't really thought about it. Selection of. I don't know. Probably some idol. So. So like. There we go. Can we have some highlights hitting that? Too much to that. Cool. Like that. Yeah. It's a wooden structure, maybe with some special branches from a special tree or stuff like that, or antlers. Who knows? You can make up your own story. I think we need some darker shadows here. Yeah, overall, I'm quite happy with the refinements that we're making. And next week, I assume we're gonna stream next week. It's plans. We will continue. We'll do it like today, just an hour at the. Oops. Planning. An hour at the start of the stream, and then sort of to just warm up to this, just get used to the brushes and stuff like that, and then just to build a little bit of confidence. And after that, we'll start studying or designing, just do some other stuff. Like there's a massive delay on the stream. Could be wrong, but maybe I'm wrong. It shouldn't be. Set the delay to minimum. When people ask something in the chat, I can respond in a small amount of time. If you have a delay of a minute, that can be quite annoying. Of course, there's a delay of 10 or 20 seconds, something like that. That's some rocks and stuff. Maybe I need to lift my my pen higher, because if I look at that, you know, if I stipple sort of, then I'm gonna stipple, but then see, it registers it as a brush stroke rather than I lifted up the pen. It's really annoying, especially when adding some dots really fast. Maybe that's a message, just something to do. Slow down. If I'm a little bit slower, I'm actually faster. That makes sense. When I go too fast, I screw it up. It takes longer to. So that's something I need to keep working on. A little bit slower, more deliberate. That's the best way to explain it. To be deliberate with your brush strokes. You don't need to add a brush stroke for the sake of adding a brush stroke, but you need to think about, well, especially when you're studying, when you're detailing like this, it's a little bit more relaxed. I'm not entirely thinking about each individual brush stroke, but especially when you're designing or studying, you really have to think, why am I adding this brush stroke and what is the function of it? Otherwise, you end up with a random mess that doesn't really make sense. That's a trap that I tend to fall into. Because I'm a little bit scatterbrained, my brain goes boing, 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 boing all the time. My sort of my painting follows that pattern. So it's really frustrating, because to calm down, you just really need to go slow, and then it works, but it can be really hard. Maybe I need to take some meds for that. But take them. For various reasons. Oh well, 58 minutes live streaming so far. Yeah, I don't know. We did a new layer when that was like 30 minutes ago, maybe. Look, it doesn't really change a huge deal in 30 minutes, but it's just, imagine if you do this 30 minutes you do another 3 or 4 hours, how much that's gonna change the image, how much clearer it's gonna make the image. So that's what I need to keep in mind. Let's make it a real cool image. Yes, put it in the middle of the screen, and then see, where is it? On the short break. I need to change this screen. Better one. But I'm gonna take a short break, and it will be back in a couple of minutes. See you then. Hello? It's me. There we go. I'm back. I got some coffee. A stroopwafel. Not a stroopwafel. International people like to call it. It's a stroopwafel. But remember that. It's really important. Alright, let's create a new canvas. Let's make it A4. Yeah, that's fine. Not entirely white. Save as. Let's find a place to save this puppy. Line drawing. It's line drawing, right? I'm gonna practice my line drawing. Alright, we're at the line drawing part. I need a 2-point perspective grid. Infinity designer. I could make my own grid. Where's my coffee? Or I could grab one from the internet. Look. It's a 2 perspective. Set it to darken. It's not good. Set it to on. So this is the good grid, but it's also really bad because it's too fine. You know what I mean? And I don't like these thick. I think I'm gonna make my own, probably. Three-point perspective grid. Could do that, but you know what? Let's bite the bullet and line tool. Fill. How about black? Making it as a shape. Let's rasterize this. Rasterize that. Well. That. That. Let's learn to together. Select. Just sharing. All right. Oh, no. Two. And then another one, and then oh. Like that. Right. Now, can transform the to so. Put them apply. I think I use 1 pixel. Is that enough? And grab these. There we go. That's a perspective grid. So if we want to design something now, let's use the line tool, pixels, mode, no, wait, 1 pixel. How about 5? So if we want to draw a box, let's say we want to draw a box. I could do just with the brush tool and go like the see that I can make straight lines, but it takes a while. Something like that. That. Yeah, something like that. Then you could use a shift tool like that. You have a box, you see? In perspective, great. But what is crap? Did I just draw on that? Anyway, that's how we draw a box with a brush. Let's lock this layer so we can't accidentally draw on it. But so you can do this and blah 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 blah. Yeah. But if you're working on paper, you can grab a ruler. No? This is like a ruler. Let's define. So like that. Make a box. Straight. You can make it straight by pressing shift. So like that. You see that works actually perfect. and the grid helps you to with your perspective. Now we have a box. That's great. And let's say you can even make more boxes because the box is originally there. Let's copy the box. Let's say we wanna put this box on that box. Now the perspective is off, but can back into perspective. Sort of. So then if we yeah. See that? Then you can grab area there. But that's not really what this is about. This is about designing stuff. What are we going to design? I think I'm gonna start easy. I saw a video yesterday from Trent, and he did a 15-minute exercise with designing a hand cannon. So it's a gun. So I was like, yeah, why not? Why not do stuff like that? And if you don't really know how guns look, you can look up designs just by googling guns, and hopefully the FBI won't search your browser history. Anyway, let's do that. I'm gonna do the first basic shapes with the line tool because it's just so easy. Just so easy to do it like this. I never used it before, but I'm gonna go so exactly where to. Yeah. Then it's the base of the gun. Something like that. Somewhere there. Yeah, and since we have this line tool set to pixels, make sure to set it to pixels, and you can uh, add the size of it. But you can just erase it and stuff like that, just like brush strokes. All right, so that's that. Need to grip. I quickly check how that works with a gun. So we could add it at the back, or we could just go like, oh, maybe we make a handgun first. That. Something like that. And usually there is some. Let's add some stuff. Barrel. Follow the perspective lines. And then we can say, you know what? You don't see this. That. I've set a timer maybe to see how long about this, because now I'm really deliberately designing or putting down lines and down lines, while usually let's keep that line actually. A lot of the time I would just go in and grab my brush and for instance, oh, I'm gonna design it good now, like this, like that, something like that. See, it's quick, but it's so loose and dirty, and I need to sort of go between the two, if you know what I mean. This is maybe a little bit slow, but I think it's a good exercise for me to take my time and see where I can go with it. So let's say that there is a I don't know, a sort of an add-on here. You can zoom in, of course. Let's get rid of that. And then let's say that this is actually out the side of the gun. Now we're still using the perspective grid, but once we start to sort of clean up the design, we can get rid of that. We can use the line tool for this, but we can also use the brush. Let's erase line here. I think I'm just gonna use a little bit of a generic design first to get going. You could iterate on the design too. Usually there's a sight on a gun. Let's see how that works. I keep pressing L for a line, but it is the sight. It's a quite it's a bottom view. We also can do a top view, which may have been better, but to do that we just have to flip the maybe we can do copy this. You can see I'm already distracted, which is really not good. Sorry for that. I just noticed that I was like, why am I doing a bottom view when I can do a top view? But hey, that's for the next one. Let's lock that in place as well. So we now we have a bottom view. Alright, so maybe this needs to be a little bit longer. But for now, let's keep it. Oh wait, grab my brush. 7 pixels. Make it 5 and as hard as possible. 100% opacity. Barrel. You know what? It's a little bit small, so let's enlarge it. Yeah. I don't really have any experience with this, so this is new for me as well. Why not use the line tools again? The okay. Eraser. Go. Some details in there. Want you to be there. And I need my sort of my references on the side there. Usually all sorts of textures on guns. Control D, is that double? Okay. Control C, Control V. Oh, that works. Technically, they should get tiny. Could just do it like that, and then add the polygonal lasso tool. Add a little bit of detail. Look, for me, this is a first for me as well. So there is a something like that. So maybe there is a extra slider or something like that. It's actually starting to look like something. Save it. Yeah. I really should have put up a timer. On the other hand, why would I put up a timer? I mean, it's just fine to take as much time as I want. There. Key. Feel rushed. Talked about how I need to slow down. So good exercise. Just as I'm trying to slow down, I'm talking about how have I been is speed up. Let's see. Then we can get this. Let's get that. Let's get that one. So maybe it's a little. Some. Maybe there's a safety button or something. Um, Not the most exciting gun or pistol, but hey, I'm just starting out. Sights. Starts to look like something. Okay, now some more detail. So that's something. It's actually looking like something. It may not be the best, made so far, but like a gun. So that's a good thing. Set this layer to darken. Grab. Start shading. Feel like we need to work on the grip, and it doesn't have a trigger, so that's a bit of a problem. Can't really fire a gun that hasn't have a trigger. So let's work on that first. Size 6. Like that. That's that, and then not a good trigger. Something like that. Let's get some in. Bit of this. Yeah, I'm focusing really hard. Not sure if it helps, but it's a little bit boring. I'm sorry. I'm not really talking that much. Sorry for that. But yeah, I'm focusing really hard on working stuff out. Doesn't have to be perfect, but hey, I want to make it as good as I can. So yes, I think we to slim down maybe the grip a little bit, maybe. Um, should be a little bit rounded, right? So let's try to get that. And some some grip stuff on some grip material here. Grip so you don't lose the pistol. Oh well, that's a nice. Places. Um, let's make it lighter. 4. Maybe this is not the most interesting content for live stream. I don't know. I want to practice this stuff, but still sort of figuring out the best way to sort of practice this is. I do it off stream, but I don't know. That arrow like this. Um, It's not the best design, I guess. It's also, I think I'm gonna do the other designs from a top-down view. This is from a bottom-down view. It's not the best view to do stuff like this. Let's just add some scratches and stuff like just to make it look battle. And then we can of course change the lighting. Stuff chipped off. Um, some of it. Any? Yeah, probably some rivets and stuff like that. Sure what is this for, but no. Just add. It's for entertainment design. It's okay if it looks functional. It looks like it could work. Or some gun expert say because XYZ. It's fine. So some just it really works. Thanks, Trent, for your good video on it. Trent Cantuga? Is that the right pronunciation? Well, he's a bit of a legend. Bit of a legend. He is from Diablo 3. Now has his own studio. So yeah. Thanks for all the tips and tricks that you provide in videos. So be sure to check him out. But yeah, we can spend as long as we want to just chip in and stuff. It's battered. It really adds to the overall feel. I think. Let's get one shade darker. Maybe for some shadow areas. Fairly dark, but things are usually black. And my coffee is cold again. So yay. So yeah, we can. I think we did our first one. I think it's actually really nice. It's not perfect, but hey, it's a gun. So let's group these, group from layers, and call the group a gun one or handgun one. We can turn that on and off, and we can just move them. Let's turn shape one copy off. Layer up. Because we did a bottom down of bottom up view, if we looked from the bottom up onto the gun. But I think it makes more sense to top down view. So let's do a top down view now. Different gun this time. It's all fantasy or sci-fi or whatever you want to call it. It's made up. I tried to follow some design principles of guns, but they're not real guns. Alright, so let's do a top-down view. Let's lock this layer, just in case we're drawing on. Yeah. Perspective grid, that's not what we want. Alright, let's grab our handy line tool, and I think I'm just gonna go and start with a, oops, let's make it black. Start with a simple box. Go this big? Yeah, why not? Let's go big. Big. It's big. How big do you want your gun to be? Yes. That's what we do. And then go there to somewhere over there. Wait. Alright. So that's the barrel. I think a little bit like a flare gun type thing, but maybe a sort of hand, like you know those grenade throwers, but just from one hand, maybe with a massive magazine under it. Gonna quickly Google flare guns. Wow, it's a laser glare gun. It's not a. I have some nice inspiration there. All right, so and maybe it's fed from the side here. So we got this barrel here, and then it's up this, and maybe some of the lines are getting again, so to help our construction. So let's say that the magazine is coming out like that. Is that about the size of the barrel? Yeah, probably. We could make it a little bit. And let's go all the way. Big. And up. there. So each a and get this. Yeah. So let's increase our brush size a little bit. Sir. That looks really boxy at the beginning, but as long as we keep chipping away, we end up with that. And that's sort of a thing to keep in mind. Well, for me personally, when you're doing like this, and you sort of, let's say you walk away, or you just and come back and see that, you're like, what the heck am I doing? What is going on here? What is this supposed to be? And that can be disheartening sometimes. That you're like, where is this going? Sort of the ugly stage thing that artworks go through. Gotta trust the process. Let's make this. Work. Good afternoon. Good morning. Still, right? At least it's morning here. Got an hour to go. How are you doing today? So there we go. And then we have this. Oh, I keep pressing the L. Fine. But it feels like afternoon. Oh, I'm sorry to crush your dreams there. You have some time to go, man. Could be a good thing. You're doing something makes you happy. It's like, oh yes, I got more time than I thought I had. But if you're if you still have a long way to go and you're like, ah, I can't wait till it's over, then yeah, it's a little bit of a crushed dream there. Sorry for that, if that's the case. Yeah, I'm not in control of the time, so not my fault. I'm going to do this. Let's make it that nice. This line is the same angle as that line, and then might be what's going on. So we slimmed down the gun a little bit. That's okay. There's one problem. We're not gonna see the holster or the hand that's holding the gun. We could make it like, could make it go like that. So like the almost like a Sten guns. The Bren have that as well. At least some World War II guns had the magazine going from the side, and then they hold it on the magazine. You could make it that you hold the gun. Doesn't really make sense, does it? I need to figure out how you hold this gun, because it has this massive magazine. We could pop in the magazine from the bottom, but then it's kind of a design feature to have it feed in from the side. There. Oh. You know what? Let's worry about it later. Let's continue. You have this massive barrel. I'm really good at drawing circles, as you can see. So, drew 2 circles. It's the barrel. It could be slightly bigger. There we go. So it's like a bit like a Borderlands gun, bit of oversized, massive, sort of comical barrel. We need to make sure that the magazine is that the stuff that goes in a magazine fits the barrel. Otherwise, it's gonna be weird. Let's erase this, but yeah, I'm happy with this big barrel. Could try to do it like this. Same. That. Look at that. Ooh, the perspective is off on that barrel. We'll fix it later. Or not. We'll see. Bada bum 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 bum. Still struggling. It's that magazine. I think I'm gonna get rid of it. I think I'm gonna go and do a horizontal one. So we're gonna get rid of this. Fine. And grab the line tool. The thing is, my perspective grid has run out. So, pro tip: do more lines in perspective grid. It doesn't need to fit a lot of bullets. 1, 2, like a 4-shot magazine, something like that. To do it like this. Can get this. I don't know why I drew this line, because it alright. So now it is a side loading. So I imagine that the bullets go in from from this side. Then they are shot, and the shell is thrown out on that side. So keep pressing L for line. It's confusing. It's L for lasso. So whatever the correct pronunciation is. Error. There we go. Now it looks like a gun on its side. No. No! Look like that. It looks like a handgun. Just that's on its side. Oh no. I didn't think about that. We need to put a handle in the. Oh boy. This is going nowhere. Let's say you hold it there, and then it's about there. Let's say, because this is massive, you're gonna have the handle there, like that. How are we going to convince people? Maybe by adding sights, because those are on the top. Let's add a sight. And I think we're gonna make these back ones quite massive, just to make sure that no, it's not some accessory that's sitting on the side here. Definitely side of a gun. Now just hope that it. Otherwise we might end up having to put some sort of a scope on it, but that doesn't make sense for a small gun. This, or well, a relatively small gun. Fire is massive. Ever it does fire. It fires shotgun shells. Bugs. This sight is to erase it. Let's grab a. It still looks like a gun on its side. Let's do massive size. Thermal size. Maybe. And then I think we're gonna need to sure that. Then like that. No, it looks less like a gun on its side. I think we need to work a little bit on that magazine. It looks like a magazine. Um, let's just Google gun magazine. How does that? Oh, we get these usually these clues in them. Let's cut that there. Oh, and then add some grooves. Um, go. Since we're late, back to what small line like that. I can do that with the brush tool, but we're a little bit lazy or efficient. So call efficient. Call it efficient. Sounds oh, right. It was quick. Maybe add a line there. So see that. Just probably to save weight or to guide the bullets or whatever. is it probably has a very important function that I don't know about. I think we can hit. This is not a gun on its side, but actually, yeah, that works. Yes. Let's also add. We had this little thingy here. Let's add that to this one as well. So is that. Um, so big. Just hanging out there. I need to teach myself to erase smaller portions at once, because if I do the entire thing and I make a mistake at the end, I have to erase it all the way from the beginning. Sure that that doesn't happen. I just erase smaller bits. Yeah, something like that. Let's add a sort of an extra game and find the magazine. Some sort of a clip thing that holds the magazine in place. Stuff up. That's a special one. Sure that the magazine doesn't fall out. And you know what? Let's add a little block thing to sort of give the ID as the same. All right. I think I want some horizontal in this one. Instead of the vertical. Okay. You should just zoom in. It's probably still working zoomed out, but stuff like this, zooming a little bit further in is a good thing to do. Let's grab that and be efficient instead of drawing this copy. there. Merge it. And it's probably some good stuff like that. It's gone. Shading. And I think most of it is done now. And for this one, it's not entirely clear that this is a side-loading magazine. So if you do this as a entertainment design or a concept art, just make the same gun from another angle. And with this perspective grid, it's really easy to do. So you could for instance do a bottom down view like this one. Then and then you can actually see how the magazine works a little bit better. Or you could oh, we can do that, I think. Yes, let's do that. Let's I'm thinking about the order of things that I want to do it. I think I want to grab this, remove the magazine, and put it next to the gun. So you have two pictures of the same from the same angle, but one with the magazine next to it and one with the magazine slotted in the gun. And I'm thinking, do I continue with it? And then, you know what? Let's continue with it, make all the details and the shading and stuff, and then we can do the magazine thing. Because we have the line drawing on a separate layer anyway. So let's grab darken tool. Let's make a layer set to darken. Not sure how. It's a really nice way to shade it, by the way. Set a layer to darken, just, because you won't go over, or the lines won't be colored in because the line drawing is darker than the color that you're using. I think I'm just gonna get entirely shade. Then we'll do lighter or darker erase this, make it darker, stuff like that. What time is it? Probably should go break. Live stream for 2.5 hours already. Wow. So yeah, I'm gonna quickly shade this one and add some more little details and scratches, like other one. And then I'm gonna take a short lunch break. After the lunch break, I think I will do. I will remove, sort of do a version with the magazine removed. So we'll put the magazine next to it. You can actually see what's going on. Darker color. Um, darker fonts. Erase some of the edges. There may be highlights. So line drawing is quite thick. But um, and the side of the magazine side gets the variant, I think. Okay. Important that we pick the right color. These are sunken. Even darker. Lighting is not strong suit. I probably should practice that a little. Um, it's darker. I think it's just like that, and then light is top. something like this. It's not perfect. Hey. Yeah, let's add some details. So, dented. Of course, it's metal, so it doesn't really dent that easy. But this is entertainment. Scratched. Not super good with doing this. Um, Magazine is probably had a nice it's working a little bit of detail, like it's worn and a really old weapon. Some more holes for screws, stuff like that, and able to pull the gun apart, clean it. Add some bobs there. Scratch it, scratches. It almost looks like wood, which is not good. Um, oops. Oh, I'm doing a layer. But the illusion of scratches and stuff go a long way, I feel. That's why I'm not really too bothered that my line work is sometimes not entirely perfect. Because when you are sort of detailing out and adding those scratches and like that, you can use those as an illusion of detail. But yeah, this is a really stylized way to do it, not really 100% real. Or like I said before, sort of the Borderlands style. And there it really works well. All the scratches and worn out stuff. But a really like game like Arma or that. It's a lot less well than, let's say, Borderlands or World of Warcraft for that matter. It's also really stylized. So you see these big scratches on armor and stuff like that in art. It's not really realistic, but it looks cool, and that's what that's all about making it. So let's get this out. Some get some highlights here and there. Some more highlights by erasing the lying, erasing the shading. So yeah, it's still have a lot to practice, I have to say. Of course, I'm a little bit slower now that I have to talk as well, than when I could just do this without talking and thinking about what to say. I've noticed that really slows me down. Painting as well, but that's okay. This way we can learn together. But using this method, you can pump out a bunch of weapon designs in. I mean, even with the slower speed, I did this in a bit over like 1.5 hours. That's actually I've never worked so long for, I wouldn't say so little result, because I like the result, but that shows you if you take time for your stuff, it may end up being better. Let's get this a little bit more color variation. Let's get this to a darker shade as better. Oh, we get rid of that scratch because it was on this layer as well. Well, that's fine. Feel like we need one of those weight saving. Well, it's probably weight saving, I'm not sure. Well, one of those things in here. That. It's the design a little bit interesting, hopefully. some add some stuff, add some scratches. And sketch. Let's get the correct layer. And you you can spend as long as you want on this, but yeah, if you like this, you can follow along. But it's kind of strange to think that we started out with a little simple box. I think it's a really good way to design stuff. And now we're doing guns, but you can do vehicles, you can do buildings, you can do anything you want, really. So definitely going to do more. What shall we call this? Handgun 2. Then we can move this around if we want to. Then of course we can turn off the perspective grid and this and that, and then want to present this. Try to be professional. Shape box behind it seems to be a thing. Just grab a with a little bit light, darker than the background. Something like that. Then you can selection. Let's fill with this, and let's that's set to darken. So filter. Like this. Set this to something like that, or better to go. Yeah, kind of works. and then you can name it. So let's grab the brush, make it really small. So we call this flare gun, since like that. And if we really want to fix the shadow, we can do it like this. Up. There we go. That's better. Just missing the highlights from the gun now, so we can go in here like this, so we get some of the highlights back. Not that we had many highlights on that gun, but make it a little bit better, I guess. Actually, I think I've been streaming for almost 3 hours now. So I said I was gonna take a break and then continue, but I think it will be better if I end the stream here, just for my own energy levels. I had a lot of fun. We're gonna do more of these. I'm gonna do them in my own time as well, but I feel it's a really good exercise to work on my design skills, because I really feel that those are lacking currently. I'm a lot of the time I'm just painting stuff like this, which is really fine. But I want to expand my skill set, so that's by doing this. Can I put this to, for instance, to multiply? So yeah, I I really like this. I'm gonna do more of this next week. I'm not sure if it's gonna be guns or maybe other weapons. I will definitely do a few on my own, because it's a lot of fun. It takes me quite some time at the moment, but I'm thinking once I get better at it, it's probably gonna go a little bit quicker. Especially when I do it in my own time, because then I don't have to talk to stream. I noticed that I made some mistakes, like this should shaded as well. Anyway, thanks for watching, and make sure to subscribe and like the video if you like the live stream. And tomorrow there will be a new video. Hopefully you will enjoy it, and I hope to see you next week. Thanks for watching. Bye.